And now to actually cook the meal. Here are the main ingredients. We have the broth here. We have a head of baby bok choy. We have one of the portions of noodles from my previous video. The broth is from the previous video. We have some chicken. This is also from the previous video. We have some chopped scallions. And then we are going to use, I have some schmaltz here. You can, oftentimes in the Chinese restaurants, they'll use lard, while the Japanese restaurants will use schmaltz. I happen to have a whole bunch of schmaltz, so I'm going to use that, but you can use lard. A very small amount of oyster sauce and or soy sauce. And optionally, you can add some sesame oil too, but that's very optional. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring this broth to a boil, and we're going to toss in, as it's getting hot, we're going to toss in this baby bok choy, and we're going to let this cook until the baby bok choy is tender. Once it is, we'll take it out and cut it on the cutting board, and we'll throw in our noodles. The noodles cook very quickly, so you don't want to put them in before. So let's go ahead and just let this cook for a moment, and then we'll come back. While this is cooking, I'm going to put a little bit of in this case, Schmalz. Schmalz in Bahasa is called minyak Ayam. And if you want, you can add just a little bit of sesame oil. And I'm going to add just a bit of soy sauce. I'm going to go ahead and mix these around. Once the noodles are done, I'm going to toss them in this mixture to coat them. I think it needs just a little more schmaltz, just a little more oil. Mix that in. It's looking nice and good. And by the way, if it is like thick like that, you can add a little bit of the sesame oil to bring the consistency down. So now it's been a few minutes. I'm going to take this out. I'm just going to slice it right across there so that the leaves come off, and then I'll chop it one more time. You'll see the final results before I put it on the thing. But while I'm cutting it, I'm going to cook the noodles, and you'll see just how fast these noodles cook. They are ready as soon as they float. And there they are. See them floating up to the surface? So now I'm going to scoop them out into the waiting bowl with the oil and the soy sauce mixture. And it's a little hard to manage them sometimes, so yeah, sometimes they're going to flop around a little bit. That's fine. I think that one stuck to the bottom. There we go. And there we are. I'm going to toss the noodles with the oil mixture. And then I'm going to top them, starting with the meat. Typically the meat's all going to go in one area, so maybe like this. I'll put veggies in another corner. And I'm going to top with a little bit of green onion. Now, if you've rendered your own schmaltz or you've rendered your own lard, you'll have the little bits of, you know, fried stuff, and those are also really good here. So then this is the basic presentation. We then add some broth on top. And then typically we'll add a little bit of a soy sauce, not a soy sauce, a chili sauce, and vinegar. If you're going to use vinegar, use the 24%, 25%. That's what they typically use in Indonesia. Just take your spoon, take a little bit on top, and pour it around. We do the same thing with the chili sauce. But I don't have any chili sauce for the taste test, so I will come back to that in a later video. Now normally I would stir this up and mix it well, but for the purpose of this taste test, I'm actually just going to taste a couple of the important elements. I'm going to taste the noodles. The noodles came out very well. They are nice and chewy. They have a very slight bitter flavor that you get with the Asian noodles. Overall, worth doing. Now I used a soup pan this time, and I'm not really satisfied with it. I think next time I'll go back to using a sort of a normal chicken. But the flavors are nice, just is a little bit tough. And the veggies just add that nice little bit. Anyway, enjoy. Selamat makan. That's Indonesian for basically, well, selamat makan, I guess, you know, bon appetit.